Hi, everybody. Welcome to Habitat Now. I'm your host, Aaron Schey, and I have the honor of taking you through a preview today of the upcoming Glass Art Fair. We've been working quite hard, working with many of the artists in the Habitat family. Many of you are part of this exhibition. This also coincides with our live event, our celebratory 50-year anniversary exhibition that's going to be opening in September. You're all invited. Obviously, many of you can't make it, and this is why the Glass Art Fair is here to share the works in the exhibition virtually and beyond. Some of the artists can't make it in, and some work can't make it in. So the second year of this exhibition is a lot of fun. So without further ado, thank you for joining me, taking time out of your day and exploring some of this. A lot of the artists have joined us today, so you're welcome to unmute yourself, talk about the work once you pop up. I see many of your friendly faces, and I'm sure more people will be joining us as we kind of go through, but I'm going to start sharing my screen, go through some of the particulars. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, and hit this bell because this is on YouTube too. All right, perfect. You guys see the first screen right here of me. All right, you've seen it already. Let's move on. The auction's up. So if you're looking to check out some work that's up in our Masterworks auction, it's live on liveauctioneers.com. We are also doing a live floor bidding here at the gallery. So a little bit of both, kind of like the old style we did before the old pandemic. So you're welcome to call and place bids digitally. Contact me for more details. Moving on. We're sending out more invitations. People have asked us recently for their physical copy of the invitation to the Habitat 50th anniversary show. So if you haven't got one yet, please contact me. I'd love to send you one. We're also giving away this Peter Hora maquette piece during the show. If you have signed up and paid for the whole weekend, there's a raffle to enter you in the drawing. And we have some more fun planned along the way for the weekend, visiting the Flint Institute of Arts, watching a demo by Richard Jolly. We have talks by Richard Royal, Richard Whiteley, and John Littleton and Kate Vogel, who are here. I know I saw Richard here too. Thank you guys for being here today. There's a little email I sent back of who's attending, so make sure you've seen that. This is the Glass Art Fair. Will be up September 3rd for VIP. For those of you who don't know, in the email, there's a password that I sent you. You can always message me to get on the day early, which is the 3rd, which is a Friday, to see it before it goes public. Steve Linz was just mentioning to Charles at the Fort Wayne Museum of Art. He has an exhibition opening up there during our weekend. We're going to zoom in and see him. It's going to be an incredible experience. And if you are in the Fort Wayne area, you should definitely stop by and see it. And I will try to get over there because it's going to be impressive. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Fumio, I know you are here. Would you join us and tell us a little bit about your work? I love this piece. Please feel free to unmute yourself and chime in. If I can find you, I will do it too to help you out. There you are. Ask to unmute. Let's see if you can kick it out and say hello. Can't hear you just yet. There you go.
Okay. Hi. My name is Fumio Adachi. I'm new here, and I'm from Tokyo originally. And now I'm living in Nagano and working in the States 5-6 months of the year, every year. I'm going back and forth between Japan and United States. Okay, I start. As an artist, I have been thinking about how humans can be in harmony with nature. In other words, I want to express the Buddhist lifestyle, which I have come to know in my childhood in Japan. In order to do that, my main goal is to find a balance between the artist and the work. The materials I use to get the job done are molten glass, gold and platinum foils. I try to be as passive as possible so that the materials take over. This helps me achieve unique and interesting result. When I create a piece, I imagine I'm one with the materials as their equal. I accept their nature and give them freedom to develop themselves. The result is spontaneously changing patterns of melted gold or platinum foils on highly heated molten glass. The Buddhist concept of compassion is extremely important. It stresses that human beings are all equal. No form of discrimination or superiority exists. This applies even to man's relation to the inanimate world. Man and inanimate objects are one, harmonized with each other. Conquering is something completely against the nature of Buddhist teaching. I hope that my pieces inspire the viewer and influence her in a positive way. In particular, I'd like to make people reconsider what they have been in the past and what values they should focus on from now on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Shelly Allen, I don't think is here today. We've been representing her for quite a while. She's working on some new pieces to send in for the show. This piece will be out. It's currently coming back from the Muskegon Museum of Art for the women's show that was there. Incredible work, and we're grateful to have her in our family. And still see many of her things on the Glass Art Fair. Lucy, I bumped you ahead. I'm not sure if you're here, so if you aren't here, I'll take over for you. But if you are, feel free to unmute yourself. Lucy had a little.
Hi.
There you are. Hi, Lucy. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. So this is a departure for me. I usually do people, as you might know, and well, in the past years, I've been listening to the Game of Thrones and watching the Game of Thrones, and I became obsessed with the dire wolves. And so finally, I had to do a piece with wolves in it. And actually, I call this one Three Dogs in the Night. And there's another piece which is called Lady Direwolf that's in the show. They're all cast glass. They sort of are reminiscent of my personality, the way I have my people, because usually in my pieces, a couple of people are relating well to one another, and one of them is really not paying attention, or, you know, off in their own world. So that's it.
Very fun. These are very impressive. They're quite large, larger than they look. And I swear I want to pet them every day. Thank you, Lucy.
Yeah.
And you know, Lucy, Michael just gave it a good title, Game of Bones.
Yeah, I like that
What
too.
did you say? I didn't quite get that.
I said, Michael just gave it a good title, Game of Bones. Yeah,
That is a good title.
that is good.
Well, thank you, Lucy, for being part of our show.
Yeah, I love it.
Dean Allison just sent some photos in yesterday of the work he has created for the show. He's got 3 works focusing on the children, which is quite a popular series of his. Cast glass work. So I'm a big fan of Dean and his career and his work, and I'm glad to see him back in the studio. And these are going to be very fun. I expect them to do very well. Eakin and Joshua, you guys on today? I don't quite know if you are or not. If you are, just talk over me. Newer artists from Kalamazoo. Very fun work. Blown objects that are carved down, kind of like in the Jay Musler style of work. But, you know, Jay, in his style, bought old giant test tubes and cut them. They actually blow their work and carve it down. These have been very popular since we've been showing them as of, I think, the beginning of last year. And they're priced very well, and I expect them to sell. And I'm glad they're part of our exhibition. John and Kate, are you guys around? I moved you guys up too. If you are, I know I saw you. Please feel free to unmute yourself and talk over me.
Okay, I
There you
had to
guys
get us
are.
unmuted.
No worries. I took this shot and I took a detail too, so you can tell me what you want to do.
Okay, well, this is a continuation of the series of the pieces that move. So this piece will actually be in motion. And what's really sweet is when you start, it just keeps going for a really long time. And the motion that it creates is a little bit like chaos theory in science.
Quite a bit like a double pendulum, where it's so dependent on the initial starting conditions. You can't really predict how it's going to move. So it'll switch direction, it'll stop almost and then start up again.
So if you flip to the close-up, Aaron,
Sure.
here you can really get a sense. So just like when you're looking in a kaleidoscope, as you like turn things, the patterning changes depending on how the piece is situated or what movement it's making. You get a whole different array of images looking into the interior of the gem. We've had a lot of fun making these recently.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of these too. The way you guys have innovated all these years and coming out with something even more incredible, and watching these things move around the room and create light and modify rainbows. They're spectacular. So thank you guys. And we look forward to your guys' talk here at the show in September. And if you have a chance, they have just put up a big installation of Muskegon. You guys are busy. So I'm happy to have you guys here today. Thanks again.
Thank
All
you.
right. Herb, I'm not sure if you're around. You're welcome to join in. Herb is a local artist, and Ferdinand, the founder of the gallery, informed me he's probably one of the first artists we actually showed back in the gallery when glass was the size of your fist. And he's still working today. He was the director of glass at CCS, the College for Creative Studies, here in the Detroit area for decades, and has since become, a full-time artist, creating these beautiful masterpieces. And he's been doing these for ages. He's part of an old crew of artists that are still working today, which is fantastic. Tim, I jumped you up to the front again too, because I know you hate being in the back. So feel free to unmute yourself and talk about the work.
And Michael Janis too. It's a collaborative piece between the two of us. And we have done many of these large scale cast glass walls. This one's a 6 foot by 6 foot piece, and it's called The Poetry of Everyday Objects. And we just kind of wanted to pay homage to the beauty of what surrounds us. We've been doing it with nature for so long, we decided we'd just try another piece here and kind of put it in a little bit more sophisticated colors just to see how that would work. It's an opaque glass rather than transparent this time. And we love making these. Michael, what do you got?
Well, it was a thing where we were looking for things that had a certain beauty to themselves that you would never see unless you really investigated. And that was a thing that we really liked, the idea that you're being kind of surprised by even a sensuality of a cheese grater or of a can opener, that there's suddenly a very tactile quality to it. And the shape itself is very evocative, that when you start putting these together, you start seeing that there is something more to things that you overlook.
I would agree to that. I took a course in college about postmodernism, and the idea behind every single object means something to one person. It might mean something else to another. So the reaction from these unique pieces, which are everyday items, could be very, very different from one to the next. And that's a great part of this piece, is you're exploring different emotions based upon experiences you have by looking at symbolism, the earphones. People relate to that today a lot more than they might relate to a cheese grater, but the idea is they're both there for different types and different eras. But my grandfather personally gave me a lock long before he passed away, and when I see this particular piece, I see a lock in the corner, and I think of him. Beautiful work.
In person, it's very tactile. Here's another one of mine with Claire Kelly. Everybody knows I love doing collaborations because I know so many of the artists and we just love working together. And this one I couldn't resist. So here's the video of that particular piece, which is called The Glass Menagerie. And of course, whenever you think of Claire's work, you have to think of carnivals and circuses, and here these characters are. So I made the little finials kind of to match like a 1920s old-fashioned, carnival as you go through. And that'll give you an idea of the depth of this six-sided endless mirror.
Yeah, I like the colors are quite fun. And Claire's so talented. I love the fact that you are able to work together.
It was just a lot of fun for both of us. It turned out to be just such a nice piece on that.
Well, thank you, Tim, for sharing.
No problem.
I appreciate you being here today, and thanks again. Rick Beck, many of you are familiar with Rick's work. He just moved to Hawaii, maybe last year, right during the middle of the pandemic. Wild man. He made these beautiful cog works. He calls them rocker gears. They're incredible. I remember one of the first pieces I sold when I first started here was a Rick Beck gear in blue, and I fell in love with it. and then I sold it and it was gone forever. And that feeling. And I ended up and I think it's part of a museum in Augusta, Georgia. So I have a chance to go see it again in person. But these are very reminiscent of that. And he made them in, I have a clear, I have a blue, and they're all uniquely made out of a particular mold that got destroyed. So they're all unique and quite stunning. Michael Barron's work, many of you are familiar with his work and have his work inspired by deep scuba diving and world experiences, spent many, many years working under Peter Bremmer's, creating his wonderful sculptures, doing the cold working, and as over the last decade became his own individual artist, and we've done quite well with his work. He's got a new series coming up too, I'm eager to share, which you'll see live and in person, or maybe we'll show you pictures of it. It could be still in the studio. But wonderful, incredible things, and we've done well with him, and great to have him in the show. Robert Bender would be here today with Christina Bothwell, but they're actually driving their work in from their home, and so they're on the road, so they couldn't join us today, so I will talk for them. Robert's spent many years as a children's novelist, and with Christina became obsessed with glass like most of us, and has created these very fun works. And we have about 3 or 4 pieces on the Glass Art Fair site, and they're very interesting, where they mix everyday objects sometimes with animals, and this is one of the pieces we have in the show. And we have some exciting news for Alex Bernstein and Charles, who are here today, that they have the Fort Wayne Museum of Art has just acquired this amazing sculpture for their permanent collection. So I wanted to just give a quick shout out. Charles, congratulations. Alex, congratulations to make this happen.
Thank you so much. Very excited about this.
Yes,
I'm thrilled to have this in such a wonderful home. To have it in a public place where people can see it and explore it is super meaningful to me. This is a piece, actually thanks to Corey and I think Aaron both supported me in making these pieces where they're so time consuming, and then I can keep adding different elements and build them bigger and bigger. And Corey kept saying, nope, it's not done. Keep adding more. I was like, but Corey, I've been working on this for 4 months. No, a couple more months to build these larger. So, it took a lot of time and a lot of dedication, which, as all my artist friends will know, is really scary to kind of put all your, eggs in one basket. But I really feel like it paid off. I, was proud of how it turned out. I love that you can kind of explore it and almost walk through it with your eyes. And I hope, having it in a public place, I'm a father of a 9-year-old, and I know that he would love to be able to see it and love to be able to explore it. So I'm so happy that it will be in a public place where people can enjoy it. So thank you, Charles.
Alex, we're going to create a custom installation for this.
That's wonderful. I'm very excited.
Is that going in the museum currently, or a plan for the future expansion, Charles?
I'm not supposed to say this today, but the new wing is coming next July.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
And I've got a new glass storage facility that will open in February.
Got a great name for it. It's called the Vault 2.
Absolutely.
Well, I wanted to show Alex's other piece that we are going to be showing, that we're bringing in, is a smaller blue group, but an impressive nonetheless. This will be making its way up here. I talked to Alex recently. He's going to be either shipping or driving it in. He's going to figure it out. But I wanted to also show some work in progress, a couple triptychs he's been talking about that he sent me. And just the clarity and the perfection of these works is always impressive. I'm looking forward to the final photos, but you guys are getting a sneak preview now.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron. I mean, these, again, I kind of started them by making individual crystals. I had the idea from walking around in downtown Asheville. There's a store that actually sells natural crystals. And I thought, well, maybe I could make a natural crystal, make it out of glass. At the same time, I had gone to a trip in the Dolomite Mountains in Italy, where I noticed these landscapes, these beautiful mountains made out of stone. And I was thinking kind of the same idea, a landscape and crystals. So I started making these crystal pieces and then started putting them together. And then they started to read actually like landscapes. There's a theory in design called proximity, or an element of design. And proximity is how close pieces are together and the air around them, the space around them. And I've always been really intrigued by exploring that space. obviously these are sitting, and I'm so sorry, my windows are really dirty. These are sitting in my studio with my dirty windows, but they really are meant to walk around and you can kind of see them. To me, the lines inside are like rings on a tree, like growth lines. They also show almost, it's like kind of like a cloud going up, and the gold group on the side, the middle piece, the lines are floating up, and then there's one that's straight, and then the lines are floating down. I kind of like the idea of glass has this ability to move, but the structure itself, these crystals are very rigid, look like sharp crystals, but yet inside it's almost like a puff of a cloud floating away. So I like that duality and the contrast between them.
In my opinion, I watch a lot of sci-fi shows, and I always see like spaceships operated by crystals. These are the operations for the future. You're already making them. They're fantastic.
For sure. And also, like, I mean, I think most of you know that, you know, my parents are glass artists. I've been around glass my entire life. It is a magical material. And I think when you work with it every day, maybe you forget that magic or that childlike, you know, there's some sort of scientific elements with it. Again, the gold group, if you look at the piece on the right, you see a rainbow, and that's actually just the prismatic effect of the glass. And still I'm like, oh my God, look at that. And I walk in, I'll take pictures. Look at these rainbows all over. And again, all my artist friends like, yeah, I see it all the time in my studio too, but it's still, I just feel really lucky to work with such a magical, amazing material, because those rainbows and colors are, somehow they're there from the light. I don't know how it's happening. I don't know the physics of it, but it's very fun to work with. And Charles, thank you again. I'm very, very excited. And thanks, Aaron, for the time.
No problem. And I'm looking forward to bringing that piece to you, Charles. And thanks again for the behind closed doors hint. We'll keep it secret, I promise.
I'll give you more later.
Sounds good. Richard, I know you are here. Would you join me and unmute yourself, please?
Yeah, thanks, Aaron.
Great to have you, my friend. We have these works out in the gallery right now, and we have them in front of a natural window, and they look incredible.
Well, thank you. Thanks so much for including me in the show, and it's so nice to join the Habitat extended community and be a part of this talk today. It's great to hear colleagues from around the world speak. It was really lovely to hear Adachi-san talk about his work at the top. I hadn't known his work before, and it was really wonderful to get to know that. So my work is cast glass, obviously. It's the very slow process of working in this material. And I suppose a lot of what I'm working with is these interior forms in relationship to the exterior structures. So I start with these voided forms and then build external structures. So the sculptures are built from the inside out, starting with the void, and then building a structure around that. And then the very slow process of mold making and casting. This is a really good example of light net. This is the work that Aaron is showing, is the work that I brought back from my first museum show in Shanghai at the Shanghai Glass Museum. And I brought that back here just after I migrated to the United States a couple of months before this pandemic. So I used to be in Canberra, Australia, and I've been working here in Corning since, October 2019. So I really enjoy this kind of luminosity of interior voids and how the transparency of the glass evokes this kind of floating ethereal quality. And color, I work quite a bit with glass manufacturers to create a tonal quality. It can be very emotive for the sculpture. You just change a color a little bit and it can have quite a profound effect. And how lighting also changes during the course of the day. So there's some of the interrelated kind of conversations that I have within my practice. I was very fortunate as a young artist. I was a student with the late Klaus Moyer, and while I was a student, I got a scholarship to come from Australia to Pilchuck Glass School, and I studied with Lubinsky and Brachtova. It was one of the few times they were allowed out of what was then Czechoslovakia, and that's where I really was introduced to the principles of cast glass. So that's my work.
That's great, Rich. We're looking forward to your talk also during our event here. I'll remind you to send me your PowerPoint when you're ready.
Yeah, still working on it, Aaron.
No worries. Just make sure I have a copy of it so we don't run
Yeah.
into some scenario. But this is great
Yeah.
stuff, and I've had many people come through the gallery and are amazed by your work, and I've had a lot of artists come through my gallery who are even more amazed by your work. So, thank you again for being here and being part of our family.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Martin Blank, many of you know Martin's work. He is going to be in our exhibition as well. He's been doing really well with these deconstructed blue series. We had, I think, 4 of them at one time. We recently sold 3. So I'm happy that Martin's getting some attention, well deserved. I love his body torsos of all shapes and sizes and scale. And he's an incredible artist and even a more incredible person. We're honored to have him in our family. Jen Blazina, she is going to be sending in this beautiful cast glass phone. We are going to be having a smaller area somewhere in the gallery that Corey and Rob are working on for smaller objects. And this is actually real life size cast object phone, something fun that she's been working on. And she's made a couple and she's done well with them. This one, she sold a bunch of them, I think 3 or 4 of them. And this one is the only one available. So I'm grateful to have it and give it a whirl. I think someone will find a nice home. I own her Atari controller piece. I love the way she casts. She's so adventurous. Peter Borkovics from Hungary. We've been representing him for a while and watched his work change. And over the last, I would say about 10 years, he's been doing more and more of these fuse pieces. And we've talked about this before, and you may have heard me talk about the Maxwell House can. He puts into opens the oven up and spins the can and pulls it away. I don't quite know how he does these amazing pieces, but we've done rather well with them, and they are just out of this world. And I think we're going to have like 3 or 4 in the show. Christina, I mentioned before that her and Robert are driving to the gallery right now, so I'll speak on their behalf. Many of you know Christina Bothwell's work about family and motherhood, and she explores animals in her pieces, and she created these 2 marvelous, incredible works that we're going to be having in the gallery very, very soon. So I think she might be painting the wood on the bottom of the left piece before it arrives, but I'm eager to see both these in person. They're both very moving. Peter Botos, another artist who's getting very excited. We see him on social media a lot, creating, usually he works in cube forms, but this is kind of a unique piece for him. It's called Ball Slices with Cubes. And I can see the cubes on the bottom, but now the ball slices are on top. A fun exploration of color and volume, and I'm looking forward to seeing this thing actually move. And I think he did a video of it spinning. I should have shared in this presentation, but I'm sure we can find it and get in front of people should you be interested. An incredible artist that we're grateful to have in the family. Lachazar, I don't think he's here, so I'll speak in his behalf. He has provided us 3 medium figures for our exhibition. He has an exhibition right now up in the Fort Wayne Museum of Art, celebrating his career and his life. So if you have a chance to go see, a lot of his work is there right now in public display. So travel there and take some photos and share it socially, and come to the gallery and do the same thing. So this particular one is very, very stunning, kind of a rose color, woman rose piece at 23 inches tall, and impressive work. And we still have some slots left for his limited edition if you're looking for a smaller piece in blue. Peter couldn't be here today. He said he was in Germany. I think he's traveling, but he's got some masterpieces ready to go in his studio that we'll be able to show in person sometime in the future. We have work obviously in the gallery, but he wanted me to show some of his new pieces that are in the Glass Art Fair. A masterpiece, you can see the different veils in the glass, the different colors and tones that Peter's well known for. And he's exploring, the vibrational series again. This is a vibrational deity piece, a magical work at 23 inches tall, definitely museum quality. I'm grateful to have him in the show. Merrick Brinko, some of these artists we discovered in our trips to Europe. A lot of them were recommended by Peter Hora's son, Lucas Hora. And so we're able to develop relationships with them. And we've sold 2 of Brinko's pieces in our last show, the Glass 49 show. And shipped them in, we delivered them, and then we're on to the next work. And so we're just sharing a little bit of more works that are by the artist made out of cast glass. And this one's about 14 inches tall. It's a lot of fun to see what younger people are creating and to see where they're going to be ending up. This is a great story. So Emily Brock, many of you know, who's been working with Habitat for well over 30 years. She's kind of slowed down a lot dealing with some family issues and some health things, but we talked to her. She's actually coming in for the show, which is fantastic. She's bringing her daughter, Carissa, who's also in the show, and she uses wood and glass together. So it'll be a first time showing her. And so she sent us some treasures from her past. She has some archives that we're going to slowly be, perusing through. And if you know Emily and how much we're a big fan of her, she's going to have some great treasures available soon. And so we have a whole little display set up for her in honor of her. And we're trying to put together a catalog for her career because she definitely deserves one. And we're honored to have her in our family long term. Another artist, younger artist from the Czech Republic, Thomas Brzone, cold carved glass, laminated, polished, very impressive stuff, very pure in color and tone. We have two pieces in the gallery, a gray piece and a blue piece. This piece is in a studio. It's called Red. Someone to keep your eye on for the future. He's priced really well, and I guarantee he's going to be blowing up the future in no time. I love his stuff. I'm very impressed. Amber Cohen, many of you are familiar with her work. She uses found glass and repurposes it to make these beautiful pieces. His work of hers in the Corning Museum of Art, and I believe other galleries have been selling her work very, very well. We get a few pieces here and there and do find homes for them rather quickly. So we have two of these works, white and pink, and I guess she's out of this pink color now. So we have the last two pieces that will actually be made of this pink color until if and when she finds more. So something fun I wanted to share. Demetra, are you here? I heard you were here earlier. So you're welcome to unmute yourself and talk.
Hi, Aaron. Thank you.
No problem. Glad to have you.
So this piece is flame-worked glass. It's actually two parts. It's a hollow basket with the lid, but I guess a more contemporary version of what we typically think of basketry. But I've always just been inspired by the woven form. And in this particular piece, I just really want to play with the notion of containment and being able to break through that. And I wanted to try to create some sense of movement or escape from that confined structure.
Very fun. I love seeing what you're creating. We have about 4 pieces of hers up on the Glass Art Fair. Definitely something you should check out. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks, Aaron.
Matthew Curtis, sending work all the way from Australia to our show. New body of work he's creating. It almost looks spinal. We have a green piece, a blue piece, and this red piece all coming into the show. Getting through customs has been fun, but inevitably it will be here. Just something incredible. It kind of looks like his work, but he's onto something new and incredible. So we're grateful to have him in this fun exhibition. Laura, I know you're around. Are you able to unmute yourself and join me?
Unmute.
Perfect. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, everyone. This has been a really difficult year for me, and I have not done a lot of work, but I have this one of my yellow heart amulet baskets for you. It's about 28 inches high, and I myself am winding down as well, and I do believe this will probably be the last large yellow basket that I do. And I just wanted to explain where this comes from. I started the amulet basket series after 9/11 to put like color bursts of joy into a difficult atmosphere. But the yellow hearts came after my father made a pilgrimage to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. to search their archives for any reports about his relatives from Europe who had suffered through World War II. And he returned back to Canada a changed man with copies of the papers that he had uncovered. And the Nazis kept meticulous records of the people that they had murdered. And my father had discovered documents with information about members of his mother's family killed in Auschwitz. And in the files, he found the name of the town that they were taken from with the date, the day they were exterminated, and the method. And no one in his family in Brooklyn had ever spoken about this. And it was only in his 60s did my father find out the truth. And in an ironic twist, and I'm researching this now, one of the relatives murdered was a glass merchant who had a glass emporium in Germany. And so since I was a child, I had studied the history of the Holocaust, but never had it hit home so closely. And as an artist, I wanted to honor my own relatives, but also bring something positive to such an evil time. And so the color yellow was used by the Nazis to identify the Jews, and every Jew had to wear a yellow star. And taking back the negativity of yellow, I decided to give it a beautiful platform in honoring all of the Jews lost during the Holocaust. And soon after my father returned from Washington, I created the first yellow heart amulet basket, an all yellow amulet basket fashioned with deep love and honor. My intention was to make only one, and a Holocaust survivor acquired the first yellow heart basket, and soon I was asked to please make more. So every year I create only one yellow heart amulet basket to honor the Jews who were forced to wear the yellow star. And this will probably be the last one that I have for you at Habitat. And I know there's some commissions that are in the pipeline, and of course now my father is at the end of his life, which is why this year's been kind of difficult. Mostly I take care of my parents. And so it's kind of an honor to him to have this piece with you.
Thank you, Laura.
I know that was all grim, but I tried to make beautiful work, you know.
Right. Well, it's got to come from somewhere. And I appreciate you sharing the story. It means a lot. And it's good to know this is one of a few pieces you've made that share that important story. And we'll make sure to share it with people too who missed this meeting in the Glass Art Fair page. Thank you, Laura. All right. Kathleen Elliott's work. We had a show for her on Artsy, sharing multiple pieces that she had in her studio from pulling back a bunch of exhibitions and museum shows. And so she decided to have a little fun and started making some framed work, exploring, nature and botanicals. And she's amazing at what she does, very detailed, and everything she creates has a purpose. It actually reflects something real in the world. And so she's made a bunch of individual frame pieces that you can see on the Glass Art Fair. You'll see on the 3rd. Lots to choose from, different colors, and they're very, very reasonably priced. So I love her work, and it's great to have her in the show. Jan Exnar's work, many of you are familiar with Jan, many of you are not. Another artist well known for the cast glass process, creating work as if it was from an era long past. Ferdinand Hampson and the gallery discovered him in one of the glass tours, and I'm sure he's been doing it for a long time, but rediscovered him. And Ferdinand has a big giant blue piece in his living room, and right next to his green eye, the pyramid. That's how much Ferdinand respects this artist. We're honored to have him in the show, and they're breathtaking when you see them. He's someone everybody should have in their collection too. Steve, would you join me and talk to us about this beautiful, wonderful creation you're working on, you worked on, and we're going to be sharing here, despite the fact a lot of your work will be at the Fort Wayne Museum during this time.
This piece will be in Habitat 50th show. It's about a French artist named JR or JR, pronounce it in French. He is what's known as a photographeur, which means that he combines photography and graffiti. And he's done these gigantic photographic installations in public places. He began in his late adolescence when he found a camera on the Paris Metro. And he went on to do a series of photographs of young people in poor neighborhoods. And it became known as the 28mm project because the camera that he had found had a 28mm lens. One of his more famous things was making the pyramid of the Louvre disappear by using photographic murals on it to reproduce the buildings that were behind the pyramid, and thus the photos represent the part of the buildings that are obstructed by the pyramid. I've always loved to draw and find that drawing is the true basis for me of all my artistic pursuits. So I drew some of the one of the photographic murals that he did on the glasses. He's known for wearing sunglasses all the time. Now, this piece is built out of 5 pieces of glass, and it's done as a photo collage. And I took 5 separate photographs of him, tore them in pieces, and reassembled his face from these 5 photographs. So things don't quite line up or match up. The hat is different in different aspects. The angle of the nose is different, but this piece represents mostly what he does.
Thank you, Steve. And you'll be able to see this piece at the gallery and every other piece in the world at the museum real soon. So
Yeah, there's 16 pieces in the show at Fort Wayne, 1 in the lobby and 15 in the exhibition.
So this is the Steve Lynn month to check out his work. And thank you, Steve, for being here every single week. You're the best.
Nice to be here.
Great to have you. Chad Fonfera, many of you came in. He was featured in the Not Grandma's Glass exhibition for 2021. I'm in the process now of selecting artists to be in the 2022 Not Grandma's Glass presentation as this event continues. And we'll be deciding who the winners are before the end of the year. So, but Chad's work is about nature and about time and about how things happen, whether or not our religious views or political views determine our current values of our lives and how we deem our existence to be. His work just says these birds lived and died together, and they help you have a bigger picture of the world. And if you want more of an in-depth on these works, please check out the Habatat-Zoom with him. That should be on YouTube. So thanks for being part of this chat. Philip, I saw you here. Would you join me and tell us a little about your work? Unmute yourself, please.
Hello, Aaron.
There you are. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's an honor to be here and see everyone. I'm currently in the Czech Republic in Prague, and I'm going to be, well, basically I was working where I work now, where Stanislav Libensky and Brichtova were working. So it's an honor to kind of have this huge history behind me. And my work definitely honors their tradition. And I want to try to kind of expand on that in the future. So I'm kind of trying to do something a little bit new by using technology. This piece is actually CNC'd. And I actually got inspired also by a lot of architects who do models. When they do models, they often use the CNC to kind of make this their terrain. And often the architects, I was helping them CNC these pieces for their models and stuff. Often they would want to make it very fine and refined and keep pushing the CNC until everything was very smooth. But I actually loved how the CNC would kind of leave these intricate patterns in the model. And then I was kind of interested what would happen if I would put that in glass. And for now, this experiment really interested me and worked, and I'm going to try to keep pushing it. I have some new pieces that actually combine this kind of only CNC and technology kind of approach. And then also I do a lot of handwork. So I cut up the piece, cut up the model, and then put it back together in different ways. So there's going to be a lot of more interesting work coming. And I'm actually going to be studying my master's degree in Umprum in Prague with Ronnie Plessel, and as well working a little bit with Karen Lamont, and keep pushing forward.
That's great. Some great teachers you have there, and you're in a great place to be doing what you do.
Yeah,
That's for
it.
Sure. Well, thanks for being part of the show, and I continue to follow you on Instagram, man. So
thank you very much.
Keep up the good work, and thanks again for being part of this.
Thank you. Thank you.
A new artist we contacted us has been quite popular in Europe, working in the cast glass. Someone I'm looking forward to learning more and more about. Giuliano We have 3 or 4 pieces up on the Glass Art Fair site for you to explore and to check out. And we're trying to get a feedback if it's something we should pay more attention to and bring into the gallery and the Habitat family. So it was great about these virtual exhibitions. You're able to show some new things that are kind of exciting and get some feedback for. So take a look and let us know your thoughts. Hannah, you were around. I think I saw you earlier. Would you unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about this tiny little guy sitting next to this huge Lego man?
There. I have to say though, before I start, I love being here, and I love being here every Saturday. I really do. And I know that the Habitat family is an amazing team, but so is everybody else. It's great. I love being here. So thank you for the opportunity. It's just a joy. I love seeing everyone, Tim and Laura, everyone. It's great fun. So these figures here, so I started this year working on a series called the Reactivity Series. So my background's in geology, so I'm trying to sort of push the boundaries of the material as much as I can do. So there's a small figure here, which is, so it's ranging in size. So the large one is 16 inches tall and weighs about 20 pounds, standing next to the little one. So I've got a series of figures. There's this large one, and then a medium one, which is 11 inches tall, and then a pair of smaller ones, which are 4 inches tall. So yes, all part of this reactivity series. But essentially by keeping that shape the same, I'm focusing on the material and trying to push the boundaries. So the reactions here are between copper, which is the blue, and sulfur and selenium. So it creates these beautiful, unique, really distinctive reactions between. So essentially it's just playing with those reactions and watching the reactions that can happen. So I'm loving it. Love it.
They're quite amazing. I love to see the colors work together like this, and it's fun to see you having fun doing this stuff too. And I know the larger piece comes with a tiny piece. Is that correct?
Absolutely, for scale. So there's 2 smaller figures that sit either side to give you an idea of scale, because otherwise you can't really tell, can you?
You can't.
So he or she's 16 inches and they're just about 1 inch tall. So it just gives you an idea of scale.
Right. This is the kind of thing where you would have both of them in the room staring at each other from across the room. You know, you don't know what they're up to, where they're at, until you see where they're looking. Very fun.
Toy Story. I know what happens after dark.
Right. Well, thank you for being here every week. Once again, you're awesome. And
No, it's a joy to be here. I love it. I really do. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll talk to you soon. All right. Javier, I know I saw you here. Would you join me and say hello? Feel free to unmute yourself and I'll try to find you if you are not unmuted. Oh, there you are. I just saw you. Haha. You are. Can you say something? Let me try to unmute you. But I know I want to talk about the work too, because it is stunning stuff. So Javier will unmute himself when he's ready, and there he goes. Say hello. Hello. Hola.
Hola. Hello from Spain.
Oh, we're great.
No speak English. Y bueno, mis obras de la línea abstracción orgánica son obras que están inspiradas en el entorno en el cual vivo y sobre todo los colores que refleja las puestas de sol cada día, que son impresionantes. Entonces, bueno, es un trabajo que está realizado con vidrio laminado y con unas tintes que aplico a los pegamentos y consigo estos colores. Entonces, la obra está trabajada una parte más orgánica y otra parte pulida, y trabajo dentro de lo cóncavo y lo convexo. Y bueno, esto es un poco lo que os puedo contar.
My Spanish is rusty, so I will definitely do know that I am very excited about Javier's work. He was sending me these images for the Glass Art Fair, and I immediately wanted to get them in for the Habitat show. We've been representing him for a while now, and he sent us 3 works of this new style, exploring these colors, and they have become some of the best I've ever seen. So when you see them live in person, look forward to your thoughts, because I am beyond impressed. And thank you, Javier, for being here today and joining us for this talk. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Artist Jack Graham, we discovered him years ago. Many may or may not know him. He was a younger crowd of artists working with the glass medium, and he creates these wonderful faces that are out of hot glass that you can kind of see as they slowly float around the room. So the style of is his own development. And let me see if who's got their sound up so I can mute you. Someone's feedbacking me. And he sent us 3 or 4 pieces for this Glass Art Fair show. So I'm honored to show this work because I think it's very impressive, and I expect his career to grow from here. So check it out when you have a chance on September 3rd. Wilfred Gruten's, many of you are familiar with his work. We have an exhibition planned for him later on this year. A lot of the works will be featured in the Glass Art Fair. His process obviously is laminated, polished glass, paint, but they create universes in every single work. And some of them, when you have them on rotational device, create such an amazing display that you can't look away. And I'm watching the show Stargate right now, and we have a 4-month-old, so that's what I do when I have to feed the baby. And this just brings me back to that show. It's such an amazing, such an incredible thing to see because this is out of this world. Philip Baldwin and Monica Gusberg, there are late additions to our Glass Art Fair, and they have sent this work. We've been big fans of them and their careers. We've showed their works years ago during our international, and they still got the same kind of process going with these beautiful objects mounted on the wall. Very impressive. They have a catalog we just put out. So if you like their work, we have 1 lined up. We're hopefully going to get a couple more for the presentation because I think they deserve it. And I think, people who are drawn to this work need to see some options, and we're grateful to have them. Noel said he'd be here today. It's 3 a.m. right now in Australia, so I don't know why he's not here. Could be sleeping. He said he might be up, but I really doubt it. Inspired by birds and nature, he's created 3 beautiful vessels, forms for our show. We've done quite well with these, and we're big fans of his. He's an all-around great guy and an amazing artist to know, and I think everybody likes him as far as I know, and we're grateful to have him. And when you see these tall works, I think this is in centimeters, not inches. It's not 50 inches tall, but it's an impressive piece. It's probably about a little over 18 inches in reality. So we'll have a few on the show on the website. So this is exciting. So for our limited, during our event, Susan Titter Glasgow is doing Cinderella's handbag. And we've been talking about this for a long time, and it's really exciting to show these works. I'm not sure if Susan is here. She may be, she might not. She can always jump in. And so she's creating these incredible handbags. Many of you have seen her work in the past. So she's doing one of these for our Habitat Limited, which I've been waiting for a while. And so she's making only 10 of these, 9 by 8 by 3. And there's no better way to show up to a glass gala than with a glass purse. And we're grateful to have her, and I'm looking forward to seeing one of these in real life. And she's going to be taking orders from the show, and we'll be putting it up on the Habitat Limited page probably during the event. You can see it open, so it can actually function as a full-blown purse. Tomas Havichka's work, incredible fused glass. The son, I guess it is, or he was Pavel Halava's son-in-law. He was an architect for many years, retired, and now creates glass. And his daughter, many of you know Petra Herbakova, who was in our show for the Not Grandma's Glass this year, 3rd generation artist. This particular piece blew me away, and I put it in a ad here in our local downtown magazine, trying to get some traction in the local area. I just thought this work was unbelievably attractive and fun, and it's an easy thing to understand for people trying to jump into the glass art world, because you can comprehend the vassal form, but this is so much more. And we're grateful to have him in our family. Peter Hora, another longtime member of our family, pushing the medium, creating such beautiful things. We have a special presentation geared up for him during our event. This particular work, there's 2 pieces that go with it. I'm only showing the one though. He did like a 5, but it's in the center, and an O, celebrating 50 years of the gallery. And so the other piece is purple. You might have seen it in an email or a newsletter. This one just came in, which is the O piece, the GO. Just beautiful, beautiful things. And I expect this piece to sell. David Hutchhausen, for the first time, he is not coming into our show. He's having some issues in Seattle. He just got back from out of the country, but he's sending in a couple of new orb piece. and we'll be representing him because we have a collection of his work here at the gallery. Many of you know him. He's a longtime member of the gallery family, and we're honored to have him and expect to see something incredible. New for this show, Sloan Hunt, well-known artist, been making bunnies for years. So he reached out to have an opportunity to show and see if there's a market for Sloan's work in our collection base. And so we've got 3 bunnies coming on the wall. So expect to see something very fun. He sells these rather well, so it's great to get the exposure for him in our gallery. Sid Hutter, another beautiful work by Sid. We'll have this piece and a gold piece, and he's working on something new in his studio. Wonderful creations, identifiable in design, but in his own idiom, it's quite impressive. I thought this colorful rainbow piece would find a home. IRDS, husband and wife couple. We had them talk by them via Habitat Now a while back. We sold a lot of their work, and this one just became available. It's already in the gallery from, I think they sent it in from the Czech Republic. So I expect it to find a home, but exciting stuff by the artist in the blue tone. Andre Jacob, another artist we discovered on one of our trips. Another work I can't quite explain how it's made. Cast work, fused parts, I assume, but visually stimulating. It's quite magical, and it's this whole collection for this glass art fair is going to knock your socks off. Martin Yanecki, so he will be in our show and in our vault. We have a collection of his work. This particular piece is from 2014. I was walking through the back of our vault and saw this piece looking at me right in the eyeballs. I'm like, whoa, this thing is pretty amazing because it's quite large at 18 by 16. And I'm surprised to see it. And so we have a good collection of his work available, and great to see his work again in person now that the vault is up and running. Michael, would you join me? I have 2 of your works, if you would unmute yourself and tell us all about them. Thanks.
Well, hi, Aaron. Hi, everyone. Really honored to be part of the Habitat show. A lot of the works that I've been working on recently are portraiture or figure studies, and the figures are made out of crushed glass powder, where I'm maneuvering the powder around with an X-Acto blade to kind of create the forms and the shapes, and then firing it on. In also these works, I'm also playing off on flowers and floral studies to say that there's a relationship between the human figure and flowers. It's a very emotional thing to how you perceive flowers and what you want from them, the beauty of it, the shape of it. And so I started taking these figures and mixing and merging them with floral patterns. So it's either the dress form or the tattoos on the male figure. And I'm also making cast objects so that there's kind of a dimensional study that's part of it as well. And for both of these, I've had the figures kind of turn away so that you're kind of having to see it from their point of view. You're kind of being drawn in by almost paradoxically by the fact that they're turning away from you. And that was something that was started by a commission piece that I had done about 2 years ago, that I really liked the way that form kind of draws you in to be part of the object and the figure there. So that's the works that I've made for this show.
Thank you, Michael. Very, very impressive work. And my wife loves her piece.
That's good.
Richard Jolly will be in for the show doing our live demonstration. He's sending in some beautiful, wonderful, impressive works that are recognizable by his style that will be in the gallery during our event. And we thank him for doing the demonstration in Flint. Vladimir Kompar, another artist that studied under Lubinsky, and her next generation, her son, Michaela, will also be sending in work. Wonderful examples of her work, impressive things. This is actually 48 inches tall. And I'm eager to see this piece in person, though I know it's in the gallery, just haven't seen it yet. An important artist from the era, Marvin Lepovsky. We have work available from the artist who's in every museum I could think of celebrating glass. And he's always had such a great a presence and detail about every single work he creates. Everything has a story of where and when and why. And it's great to have his work in our Habitat family, and his career and legacy lives on. Another artist from our visit to the Czech Republic, Joseph Marek. We've been showing his work in our events in Florida for a bit, and we're just impressed with his overall casting style and technique. Someone to keep your eye on. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of these works in the gallery. And I think this work was only on the Glass Art Fair because we have work in the gallery now. Someone that's very impressive. Dina Magarva, if I'm pronouncing that right. I've seen her work on social media a lot, and we had her in our Glassfoot 9 presentation. So I've not experienced this work in person, so I'm super excited to do that for the first time, to see how she makes these things. And I believe she takes them out of the kiln hot with her hands in protective gear and moves them into shape, puts them back in. So it's wild to think of, and it's great to see these live in person. Mari Mesereau, someone we've been showing for a long time now. I guess Ferd used to show her back in the day, and then we discovered her in the 2000s again, and I just find her work incredibly moving. With the different movements going on, such as the Me Too, it's amazing to see these powerful moments in time that people are frozen in, dealing with their current situations and becoming stronger because of it. And we'll have a good collection of her work on display. John Miller, we will have, I'm hoping to have a whole set of his limiteds, which is the burger, the fries, and then we got the drink and the ketchup and mustard coming up soon. We'll have the keys. He's going to be he has a show at the Flint Institute of Arts we're going to be visiting during our event here. So big kudos to John. He's working on some new lollipop sculptures, which I'm really excited about sharing with everybody. Lucas Majartan, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but another artist from the Czech Republic pushing the cast material. Amazing creations that are coming out of there, and we just want to share some of the work by the artists that we feel are very important, and we expect to be an important part of the future. John Moran, another artist from our Not Grandma's Glass presentation, creating artwork. It's very powerful. If you had a chance to sit through his talk with us or watch his videos on YouTube, very emotional. He's very in tune with what's going on in the world, and then moved by it to create work. So you should definitely watch the YouTube video we did talking about his work to get an idea what this work is about and what's going through his head. It's quite incredible, and we're honored to have him in our family. Nick Mount from Australia sending in some images of work that will be on the Not Grandma's Glass, on the Glass Art Fair site. I love these hot work blown pieces. He's got his grandkids. He's at a great part of life right now, creating some beautiful things, and he's someone who should be in everybody's collection. Kathy Mulcahy is driving her work up. I think she'll be there probably today installing this particular piece and a couple others. We just sold one of her pieces from her actual talk we did a couple weeks back. So I'm happy to see her working so hard. And she described to us her legacy with the Pittsburgh Glass Center, having to be one of the founders. So it's a great talk you should check out. It's great to have all these talks saved up on YouTube so I can reference them and give you guys something to do. Matthias Pavlik, Vladimir Kompar's son, and heavily inspired by water. We have a talk with her and Vladimira on YouTube you can explore and check out. We have some work on display. This work just came in, something you should really explore and see in person if you have a chance to come to the gallery. Sabrina Knowles and Jenny Pullman, many of you know the artists, heavily inspired by their trips to Africa, creating these beautiful blown pieces. They often come to people's houses after you bought their work and have fun installing it for you, or if you installed it yourself, they'll come and fix it for you because they kind of know where things are supposed to go. Just those two are beautiful people creating a hell of a legacy, and we're grateful to have them in our family. The late Stephen Powell, we reached out to his wife, Michelle, to send in some works, which they just arrived. So we picked some unique pieces from the archive that are just unbelievable. And this is one of them. You're familiar with this bulbous kind of work that Stephen did in his lifetime. It's very popular, one of his most recognized series. And at 44 inches tall, this is a museum quality piece that's going to be snapped up pretty quick. Clifford Rainey, we talked to him. He's doing well, getting through all kinds of scenarios that hit him. We had a talk with him via Habitat Now if you want to check out more about Clifford. We had work in the gallery, so we're sharing some of the works that we have from our inventory. We probably have the largest amount of his work in the planet because of the fire that took out his studio. The rest of his work was with us, so there's plenty to see, and he's definitely someone who should be collecting. Artist David Ricci sent us these fun stranger pieces. There's 4 of them, 4 different figures that he created for our show, I think in 2017 or 18 SOFA. And we never really displayed them, but now with the vault, I was able to rediscover them and pull them back out and give them a big hug. They're very fun, little strange pieces, kind of like cartooned in life, and they're just beautiful. They're very fun and easy to live with work. Alan Reed, we've been talking about him for a while now. He's an amazing talent from the UK, working in kiln cast glass. Got some great videos we've shared in the past of him creating with his wax technique different object. This particular piece was actually in China at an exhibition. Is coming straight to us from China, along with another piece. And we'll have 3 pieces in the show, 1 blue and 2 red, but the other red one was a different shape and size you'll see on the site. A stunning wall sculpture by Kate Rhodes called Gorgon Lily. This wall-mounted piece is constructed with Marini glass, copper, and steel and mounts to the wall. We have a few options of hers that will be on the glassartfair.com, and I would be honored if you check it out, and I look forward to your thoughts on her work in this exhibition. These wonderful works by Ross Richmond, a new body of work the artist has been working on as of the last few years, showing his technique and the style of creating these beautiful, wonderful horses. Each piece is obviously unique, and at 22 inches tall, very impressive. I would definitely consider one of these works, as he is a master in this field, and we're honored to have him in our family and in this exhibition. Julian and Robin Rogers, they have about 9 or 10 pieces up on the site from their career that are available, exploring fantasy worlds. This octopus piece just caught my eye. That'll be fun to share for sure. This is something very, very fun by the artist. You'll see some other works, Amelia Earhart, other works from that they've created over their career that we wanted to get out in public. Marlena Rose is going to be here for the show at the Habitat 50th, but we'll have an exhibition up for her on the Glass Art Fair. This is one of her air to water Buddhas that we'll have in the show. She's well known for her Buddha series. And here's a glimpse of a wall installation that she's going to be installing, a large scale work that will be on the wall here at Habitat. And once it's up, we'll be able to share a photo online because it's not installed as of yet. Richard Royal will be at the show doing a talk about his life, career, and work, which I'm really excited for. We did not have a chance to Zoom with him over the pandemic, but we have a great display of his work that will be up for those to enjoy, and we look forward to seeing him soon. Tolan Sand sent some great images in of work, but not too many details. So we just kind of threw this slide in, something unique made by Tolan that I thought would be fun to share and give you a glimpse of things to come. Alexis Silk, same kind of thing. Big scale pieces celebrating femininity. And we've done quite well with her locally, believe it or not, because the works are incredible once you see them in person. She pushes the medium like no one else. She works it like she's incredibly strong to be able to create what she does. And we're honored to have her in our family. Raven Sky River sent this incredible Leviathan piece to our show, along with a turtle we have and a fish called Wahoo. But this piece just came in. I was excited to share it because I love Raven's work. He's one of the most talented working in glass today. Our buddy Paul Stankard, the best paperweight maker in the world, sent in some work, including this piece, and I sent a detail as well so you can see underneath it all these hidden figures enjoying whatever they're doing in the bottom of this piece. And it's always fun to explore his work. I'm a big fan of Paul and Paul's work. This is great news for Michael Taylor. The sister piece of this work, Positron 1, was just recently acquired by the Corning Museum of Art. So that's exciting news. And Positron 2 is available. So you will experience a piece that's at the Corning, a sister piece, along with a few others at our gallery and on the Glass Art Fair site. Margit Toth from the Czech Republic, she's actually from Hungary, working in the pate verre process. We've been representing her for a long time, and her pricing is incredible now compared to what it used to be. So if you ever wanted a Margit Toth piece, this would be the time. We have some great examples of her work. Stephanie Trenchard, she is getting new work to me, but we had this photo on our the Glass 49 page of her, of two pieces of her work that sit next to each other. Very, very fun and colorful. She's new to our Habitat family. We're honored to have her. If you've seen a video or two of her creating using her sand casting process, it is impressive, and it's always great to see the pieces come out from when they're fiery in the kiln to actually colors popping when they're done. Berta Valine, you are all probably familiar with Berto's work. We have a good variety in the gallery. We're picking a few for the exhibition, so you have a chance to see some of his career. He's probably in everybody's collection. If he's not, he should be. Jennifer Violet doing something different. We have some of her usual works with vegetables or hands and birds, which are really well done. But this new particular work of wall, this still life wall piece is something new for her. And I found the tone color changing across these bottles quite nice. So we'll see how this work is received and it will be online. Vivian has some Vivian Wang has 2 new city kids she's sending us. And she's exploring more of the American style, giving them these varsity jackets, which I find quite fun. You guys are the first people on the planet to see these. We just got the images over the weekend, so figured I would slap them in. And they're a larger scale, 27 inches tall. Both the girl on the left called Beanie Girl and the boy on the right called Beanie Boy. And I expect these to find a home quick. Another artist from our Not Grandma's Glass presentation, which was Katrina Weintraub. She created this fun piece called Dilly Dally. And this is the kind of thing I was talking about with Hannah Gibson, where the 2 pieces could be situated facing each other or move away from each other, and there's other objects around the room. She usually creates an individual bunny, and I believe these are for sale as individuals, but I think they look very fun together. And we're grateful to have her in our family. Leah Wingfield, she just got done doing a long set of commissions for her tango series. So we have these works available from our inventory, but they're just incredible. A mixture of media and fine art found books. Beautiful works. It looks like there's an hourglass around her neck. Well done, and will be on display. Hiroshi Amano sending work in from Japan. It's going to make it here soon, knock on wood. This work at 40 inches tall is quite impressive with this bird in the air, and I took the detailed shot so you can see it up close. Just a wonderful exploration of Japanese culture. And these are blown and painted with copper and foils. Such magical work, and we're grateful to have him in the show. And it wraps up with Brent Keyoung from Ohio. Spent a long period as the glass instructor at the Cleveland Institute of Arts or Cleveland University, and has been an individual artist for a long time now. I would say probably about 7 years. And we've got a great collection of his work and placed a good amount of his work. But this new particular series is, he usually works in geometric forms such as cubes, but this is one of the rare forms where it's more abstract. This one's called Boulder. And I love watching his work come together and coming to fruition. So that wraps up this quick run through. So I think I'll just add some clarification too as I take you off showing. So we have a virtual show opening up called the Glass Art Fair on the 3rd of September virtually for those who can't make it in, those who want to check out a preview. We actually have a physical VIP show for the VIP weekend for those who come in. We'll be opening September 9th, 10th, and 11th. We have an auction. We have all kinds of events. We're going to be visiting Flint. And then for the public, because we're moving it away from our VIP event, we're going to be having a public event on the 18th for those who are local to come in and check out our full-blown event. Hi, Laura. Good to see you. So I wanted to thank you all for joining me today. And if you have any questions, if you want to receive a copy of the auction catalog, it should be in your mail soon. If you want to receive a copy of our invitation for our event, just send me a direct message or an email, everything you want to see. But thank you again for joining me today, for getting all these pieces in front of your eyes. I hope you're not overwhelmed. It's overwhelming putting them up, but it's going to be great to explore these things one at a time when the site's up on September 3rd. And I believe the VIP invitation is Glass VIP, all lowercase. So write that down. Thank you guys for joining me. Hope you have a great weekend, and feel free to unmute yourself and say goodbye.
Thanks, everybody. Nice seeing you all. Hope you have a good
Bye,
rest
everybody. And
Thank you,
anybody
everyone.
who's
Thank you.
coming to the
Aaron.
Habitat show, I will be in Fort Wayne on Sunday, the 12th. So if you want to come from the Habitat 50th, it's about a 3-hour drive to Fort Wayne. I'd love to see you all on Sunday, the 12th.
Thank you, Steve. We'll definitely be planning to do something like that. Well, thank you all for coming today, and have a great weekend. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Great seeing all your faces.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, Laura. Take care, guys.
Hugs, Laura.
See you soon. Looking forward to all your
Bye.
thoughts.
Bye, Laura.
Hopefully see you there.
See you soon. Yes, hopefully see you soon. Be well, everybody. Bye-bye.